Well, hello, welcome back. Today, finally, we'll be putting together the FPV or training adapter cable. Now, do it under your own risk. If you follow the instruction, you should not have problems. You should be safe. But just advise, do it under your own risk again. Now, let's go start by the headphone jack that goes into the plastic port. You have to bend this part here in order to fit it into the case. Next, we need two cables like 5 inches long. The servo cable, just cut it and strip the black cable from it. Uh, Here on the video, I'm just stripping the cable, getting all the heads together, dipping it on the flux. Now I'm gonna just heat up the flux so the soldering wire sticks better to the cable. And that's just a little trick I learned. It's out there, but it took me a lot to learn the easiest way to do it. So again, this is just for you guys to know, and always clean the tip. Now it's a little bit too long because I prefer the extra space to work with. Now I'm gonna cut it to the measurement I want. It's just maybe I talk in millimeters is more easy, but these are around 3 or 4 millimeters long. Now we're gonna be putting the first cable, the black cable. We will be soldering to the headphone jack on this position here. Now I use a Q-tip for the flux. Just dip it a little bit, and wherever you don't, it's not a wire. It's more easy just to with a Q-tip to spread a little bit of the flux over the metal. So once you use the soldering wire, uh, it's here easy. And just put the cable on top and just have weld both together. Only you need the black cable for that part. Now we need again to cut around five, I would say 5 or 7 inches. Let's cut it long. So if you need more or you need less, you can cut it. But if you need more, then you need to cut it again. Now split the three cables. Don't split them completely. Just a couple of half inch to an inch. Now twist the points and just dip them on the flux. I'm doing one cable at a time because I like to work extra work. But really, now we are just working with the white wire. The white wire is going directly into the jack, as we talked previously. It will go in this terminal in the jack. Just remember with the Q-tip, use a little bit of flux and a little bit of soldering the wire. And once you're done, yeah, you should be looking at something like this. Now you can either use silicone, or I'm just gonna use a little bit of hot glue just in case they disconnect or something disconnect, it doesn't contact. So I use more of a hot glue to protect. But you can use the silicone, depends how much time you want to wait for it to dry. Now we're gonna fit the jack with the cable through the hole on the case, and we're gonna fit test it first of all, see that all's there. You can take a knife, and if you need to, just cut a little bit. But now I'm just gonna hot glue that thing together. Now, after you see that everything's flush, you like it, just turn it around, go to the inside, and just more glue, because it's never enough. Now we're gonna be working with the resistor. Is You will notice it's long. I will just bend it. I was gonna use the plier to cut it, but it's better to bend them and put it inside, and then you're gonna be soldering, so the hot glue is gonna melt. But I just use hot glue just as to put it on place. Eh, I'm not gonna lie. I glue it on place, and then when I was soldering the wires, everything melts. So I keep adding glue to keep it on place. But yep, it's gonna happen to you. Don't laugh. Anyway, yeah, you glue it on place, and it's a little base that it has, and either glue it after or before you solder it, and then you cut the excess pieces of metal. You proceed to strip the other three wires. It should be one red, two black cables. Uh, Once you strip them and you just twist them again, use a little bit of flux. And don't be like me, I was trying to dip the cable, so just take a Q-tip and just spread the flux over all the cables. Now let's take a little bit of the soldering wire and add a little bit on all the cables. It will be very easy. Now let's go back and do a quick recap of what we did. So as I go, I evolve what I'm doing to make it easy. So the first thing we did, we welded a black cable and only a black cable to this port here on the jack cable. Then we took the servo cable, the complete three cables. I separated the white cable and I welded the white cable to the headphone jack here. Now we glue the resistor to the case, and up next we gonna be soldering the cable that comes from the jack and the cable that comes from the connector, and we are gonna be welding those both black cables to the resistor here, and then we're gonna take the red cable and we are gonna it comes from the connector, and we're gonna be welding it to the other side of the resistor. Now we are gonna be working on a little bit of a tight space here. So just adding a little bit of flux. Then we're gonna heat up the flux without trying to melt the 3D printed. Sometimes it's good, instead of heating the flux, you just get a little bit of the same uh, soldering wire, and picking up a little bit, and just as you melt the flux, just the wire goes into it. So now, unless you have a better idea, now you have to start playing, because you have to take the two black wires and try to join them and solder it to one side of the resistor, both of them. So what I did, I went below the resistor with one wire, I solder it, and then I solder one on top. So I'm just gonna try to fast forward here. So as I fight with the cables, I'm trying to accommodate both of them so they both weld to one side. So maybe it was gonna be easier to try to weld them outside of the case before gluing on the resistor. Now I was able after a while to get them both on position to weld. I think that's a more difficult one to get. And see, I'm showing my work. I'm proud of my work. So you see all the glue I have to put. Now the red one, I just put it below it. I took a little bit of soldering wire, and just with the flux and everything, it just was very easy to put that one. The other one is more difficult because it's both of them. So I just recommend, if you're gonna do it outside and then glue the resistor to the casing inside. It doesn't pass so many currents, so I don't think it gets so hot that you have to worry about it. Anyway, if you ignore all the glue, uh, pretty much that's the final work on it. That's how it should be connected. Two black wires to one side of the resistor, one coming from the jack and one coming from the cable to the connector from the controller. The red one going directly to the controller, and then the white one that is going directly to the jack. Now that that is on, you're gonna pass the cable through a small hole that should be there. Maybe there's some support. But once that's done, you just pass the cable through that hole all as much as you can. And up next is the fun part, because we're gonna get hot glue and start securing the cable in place on the hole. So you wanna put as much hot glue inside that hole so you cannot pull that cable and damage something. And then just try to flush all the cables and keep putting hot glue. And I did it just in case one cable comes disconnected for some reason. At least the hot glue will avoid any contact inside and making some sparks or damage the controller. So you're trying to save your investment. Up next, and this part is optional. I did it because if you have to take it out, at least you don't have all those cables. You don't see all those cables. So I glue myself the lid, you can say. So if you take it off, you don't have to see anything. Up next, we are gonna take the part, put it on the controller, and not screw it, but just you wanna measure how much cable you really need. You really don't need a very long cable, but again, it's better to have it long and cut it than having short and need to add more. So you're gonna cut it and you want it short so it doesn't get stuck in somewhere and you rip something else off. Now this is one of the difficult parts, is putting the metal connectors to the wire with the clamp. So this is difficult to do because you're working with small stuff. So you take the metal part and you put it inside. It has like a stop. So once you put it, you put the cable. The cable has to go all the way in where metal part goes around the white stuff. Let me see if I can get a better picture of it. So this is better. On picture one, you're gonna see the white strip. So you put the metal connector inside the clamp. It has like a stop inside the clamp if you observe. So you want this part here to be on that stop. So then you push the cable all the way in until the insulation reach these two metal horns. So once you clamp the whole thing to the wire, these horns are grabbing to the insulation of the wire, and that's what make it hard to pull off. So I'm gonna see if you can see it. I'm trying to show it. I'm putting the metal part to the stop, and now I'm gonna get one of the cables. In this case, the red one. I'm gonna push it all the way in, and once it's in, and you're sure, just clamp it and hope for the best at this point, because it's very difficult to see. But once you clamp it, you will see that the two horns are grappling the insulation of the cable. And same with the black cable, just put it, clamp it, hope for the best. Now that's done, I'm gonna take some shrink wire and just measure how much I need. And just a couple of 5 to 10 millimeters from the tip of both from the connectors, and then just I used a very tight shrink wire, uh, shrink tube, or you can use a bigger one. And I'm gonna fast forward all my fight with the shrink wire. Now that that's done, I'm gonna take some hot glue. Hot glue, always use it, and put it on the tip so the shrink tube doesn't move out of there, and just to keep it more rigid. Then I'm gonna take my heat gun that blows fire, and I'm gonna just shrink the wire. That's how it shrinks with heat. Now we take the white connector and we have to put the pins on the position, the correct position. So let's look at it from the diagram. So we're gonna take the red wire and we're gonna put it in hole number 2. There is this one here. We're gonna take the black wire and put it on hole number 8. This one here. white wire and we're gonna put it on hole number 5. There is this one here. That's the order. That's the correct order. If you see it down here, is the same number of holes. And remember, the release pin is this part up here that is looking up. Or we can call it release tab. What is this part here? That's the release tab. That should be looking up on all the diagrams. So that way you know the correct order of pins. Now that we know, we have to see, because you see those holes there. Those holes are for locking the pins inside. So the pin is gonna have a piece of metal kind of sticking out on a flat spot. That piece of metal you have to see, and that's the part that goes to that hole, so it doesn't come out. So now comes the difficult part of putting them in. So you have to find something to push them in until it locks in place. Another thing I want to go over it, because I keep fighting with them and I noticed that they will not round completely when I use a clamp on some of them. It kind of didn't leave them round enough. It was like a flat spot, so you have to be careful when you clamp in it, and they are on the correct spot. So when you clamp them, they go very round. So they're not gonna fit very well inside the connector. But if you do it correctly with patience, they will fit exactly, and they will reach uh, the locking place. I'm gonna show a picture, so you better see where how it locks into place. So this is AI generated. I kind of do it better than copyrights or something. But you see, this is the locking lands, what they call. But that part goes to the hole. So once you clip it in, it will stick in into it, and you can pull it and will not let go. And if you need to take it out, you just have to with scissors and some or pliers, just take that plastic part and hold it up and pull the cable out. So yay, we got one of the cables in. Two more to go. So I'm just gonna spare you the fight and fast forward a little bit as we talk or complain. But the other thing, the other issue, is you have to be careful, because you can damage or bend them, and then you either have to cut the cable and do it again, or you will find a way. But yeah, after a later bit of a couple of 10-20 minutes struggle, I was able to get them all in. Heck, not even fast forward was fast enough. So I just gonna cut the fight out, and yeah, after all of them are in, and you just pull out of it, and you see that they are all the way in and nothing, and don't come out. The next part for me, this is kind of up to you, but I put hot glue. Maybe you can put silicone, but I put hot glue so when you start jiggling and moving around, and you take it out, take it in, and with time you keep doing that, the cable doesn't break from the pin or something else happens. So this is just to reinforce it. And once it's done, finally it's just time to screw it on the back of the controller and start testing it. So you already see it on other pictures, but that's the end result. Just plug it in and that's it. It looks flush. I think it looks very good for being homemade. But next, let's just test it and see that it works. Now it's connected to the controller. That's what I mean. 90 degrees is better. The cable, it doesn't force so much the homemade adapter, and it's connected to the head tracking, and the head tracking is working. That's the flashing lights. So now as I turn it on, you see as I move, the head tracking is moving the signal, is sending the signal. That's what you see moving there. But what the heck, let's go now and see that the camera moves. So the head tracking sends the signal to the controller, and the controller sends the signal to the receiver, to the flight controller, from there to the gimbal, that is what it moves the camera. So now it's on, and now we move the head tracking, and its camera follows. I got it more sensitive, so I don't have to move too much the head and break my neck in the meantime. So now the last part that it helps, it fits on your case. You have to move a little bit the cable out of the way, and but it fits. Now you don't have to worry about going to the park and missing on stuff because your head tracking doesn't work because of the adapter. Uh, this day there was Eagle Scouts visiting the park, and there was kind of people showing their planes, and we had the amazing opportunity of shooting this. Me with another guy, he was just hovering, and I was able to take videos, but it's a little difficult trying to move the camera in the head at the same time you're moving the airplane. It's like you're not connected, so I was able to take some good shots of it. And well, my landing on it, I'm still getting used to landing the glider. This is the Fox 300 millimeter glider from FMS. And actually, what the heck? I just did a touch and go, and I was too fast, so I was able to pull up, do a touch and go, and I will come back for landing later on. Did I hit the prop? Maybe. Did I have to fix it? Maybe. But I don't care. You have to enjoy the hobby, even if you damage the plane. Just enjoy it, fix it, and keep flying. Anyway, I hope you guys like the video. This is my landing. You have to put it on the ground because it wants to keep flying. It's a glider, so yep. Anyway, I hope you guys like the video. Enjoy if you made the adapter, and see you on the next video. Like, subscribe. I'm gonna keep putting crazy stuff I make. Thanks.